Welcome to this weekend retreat. I always start by the day, the leading up to a retreat. I always go, I'm going to get a really good night's sleep the night before, so I'm really fresh and ready to go. And then the night before a retreat, I can never really sleep because I'm so excited. So I may get a little hyper, we'll see. I just want to start by saying welcome to you all, and I'm really, really happy to have this whole weekend together, this time to share together, and really to immerse ourselves into a continuous and accumulative time together where we can see what we are clearer, when we can release holding on to things ideas that no longer serve us easier. And as the weekend progresses, the effects and the benefits will begin to accumulate over this time. And a wonderful group energy begins to develop as well, as we all are here for each other. We're all walking the same pathway, and we're all wanting the same thing. So there's a powerful energy in that in itself. And as we move through this weekend, you may find that things come to the surface to be released. And that is that is a part of retreat. That is a part of taking this time to just go inside, to really see yourself clearer. And perhaps just as importantly, to see what you're not as well, to see that even clearer. We can always see both of those clearer. We can see again what we really are. And we can see again what we are not. And just those seeings are going to allow this old way of being to gradually fall away and allow more happiness, more joy, more peace, more love, more abundance of all good things into your existence. So what is retreat? Is it just some place that we gather like this? Or is it something more? What does it mean to retreat? What is that? What does that word suggest inside ourselves? Retreat can mean, sort of running away from something in a negative way. But it can also mean a consolidation, a kind of condensing, a concentration of what we have seen ourselves to be, a deepening, perhaps an application of that, a breakthrough, an understanding. It can mean all of these things. It can mean a running away from that which no longer serves us, not because it's bad or wrong, but it just simply no longer serves us. If we move through our awakening with this attitude, what is it that no longer serves me that I can release? And what is it that I can see clearer about myself that will help me bring more peace, more love and joy into my existence? And I have to tell you some amazing things. I have to tell you how magnificent you really are. I have to try to, as much as I can in words, describe how amazing you are. You are beyond any limitation. You are infinite and everywhere, vast, formless, and appearing as all of these forms. You can take any shape. And you are so amazing that you never make the same shape twice. You have been creating shapes in your shapelessness forever, and you will continue to forever. And you are expressing yourself as all of this universe, all of these diverse expressions of the oneness that you really are. You're not limited at all. You're not separate from anything at all. There is nothing other than you, and there is nothing that could hurt you. There is nothing that can stop you recognizing yourself. And there is nothing that can slow down your progress in that. You are beautiful beyond description. You are joy personified. You are love shaped into a human being. You are beyond immense. There isn't even a word for you. even the word infinite doesn't really do you justice, because you can also appear as finite. You're not limited to either of those categories. You are beyond definition and description. You are the source of all things, and there is never a time when you were not, and there will never be a time when you cease to exist. You are here at all times in all places, and you are looking through all eyes. You are experiencing yourself through all forms. You could never be absent anywhere, and you could never experience anything other than yourself all the time, everywhere you go, every moment of your life. Everything that you encounter is yourself. There is nothing that is not you. There is nothing outside of you separate to you. And you created this expression to remind you of this, and you've come here just to remember this, for all of us to remember the immensity of what you really are. There is no difference between me and you. There is no distance between me and you. There isn't really a me and you. There is just you and this imagined sense of other. You are that beautiful power from which a supernova arises, and a rainbow, and a meadow, and a whole planet itself, and the universe, and the beautiful, beautiful sculptures that we call manifestation. You are all of humanity, and you have been asleep for a while, imagining yourself to only be this finite, limited expression, this shape that you made inside yourself. You sculpted your perfection into a human shape, into a human appearance, and then forgot that you'd done that, and now you're remembering, and now you're coming back to clarity that you are magnificence itself. You are the pure sentience that is the power and the intelligence and the love and the wisdom that holds together every single atom in existence, and is the fabric of the universe. That is what you are. There is nothing that can be denied or withheld from you. There is no such thing for you as unworthiness. There is no such thing for you as insecurity. There is no experience of lack for you when you recognize yourself clearly. There is nowhere that you cannot explore. There is nothing that can be withheld from you. And I'm just here to remind you of that, because we tend to forget. We tend to imagine ourselves to be something very, very small. And for this time being, we have this time to really remember that, to really remember what's important most. Retreat is, for me, one of the things it signifies is retreating from that which is not so important. It may be necessary but not so important, as in remembering who you are, what you are. And retreating inside that knowledge that you are everywhere, at all times. All of these forms, appearance of forms, is just that appearance of forms. They are like waves in the ocean that is you. And there is this beautiful play going on that you keep creating, all these different shapes. And now that you've appeared as a human being, you can come to recognize, by contrast, by having a human body and a mind, and a sense of time, and a sense of separateness, and a sense of change, and a sense of evolution, you finally can come to recognize that you are that vast expanse of being, the immensity of self, in which all of this is moving and changing, and yet you remain completely undisturbed, completely unperturbed. Even when galaxies disappear, you still remain completely as you are. There is nothing that can damage you, nothing that can hurt you. There is nothing that can diminish you, and you can never come to an end. You didn't ever begin. You are before time, and you will be here after time ends. Time is just a temporary sense that happens while you have a human body. And with it comes change and progress, seemingly. But the progress is only in the recognition of what you already are and have always been and could never not be. There is nothing other than you. And I have to tell you this, I have to remind you, because I really want you to see your magnificence as I see it, that there is something so wondrous and awesome and beautiful about you. And you also get to explore and play as this finite being as well. You also get to explore that. And there is no more fun we can have as human beings than having consciously recognized ourselves as the immensity of self, and to have a human body to play in, to move around, for your body to move around inside yourself, the vastness that is you. Feeling safe, feeling secure, feeling loved, feeling lovable, knowing that those things were never, ever in question, although they really seem to be at some point. And so this weekend, we're going to focus on recognizing this with deep, deep clarity. Because just to see what you really are begins to melt away all of our ideas about what we are not. It is very hard to see yourself in the immensity that you really are. This beautiful, beautiful thing. And still imagine that you're not good enough, that somehow you're not quite up to par with everyone else and everything else. It is really challenging to see that you're not really a thing and still hold on to this idea that you're not safe. And it becomes clearer and clearer as you see it more and more, that there has never been anything outside of you to hurt you, except maybe the only thing that's hurt us is our imagination, our ideas about what we are, about the fact that we are a separate, limited being, alone in time and space. We have really, really experienced those ideas, haven't we, for a long time? But it also doesn't mean that you can't just step out of those right now in this moment. So retreat is special. Retreat is sacred. Retreat is where we come to dive deep into this truth, to saturate our beingness in this recognition as we see it again and again, and it becomes more and more fun, more and more obvious, and more clear. And that powerful recognition that you are not at all what you may have thought yourself to be. That we have been gloriously wrong about ourselves. And we have only believed otherwise because we have been experiencing our projections as our life. Our life has been the reflection of our ideas about ourselves. It's been reflecting over and over again because there is no one else. There is no other being. There is only yourself in all the various forms reflecting back to you, even in this form, reflecting back to you what you are remembering, what's coming clearer to the surface with clarity and conviction. And it's time to shake off those old ideas and live in freedom and joy. It's time to experience a sense of awe and wonder when you look around this beautiful universe at yourself. It's time to live in peace and joy and abundance. It is your birthright, and it is already unfolding. Retreat is a place we come to allow that and facilitate that. It's already happening. It cannot be stopped. And that great power that creates the cosmos decides that it wants to recognize itself, there is nothing that can get in the way of that. Absolutely nothing.